What do you think of what the Chiefs have accomplished since this game?
It's been phenomenal. Listen, they were, I mean, winning multiple Super Bowls, being and really, okay, they lost one to because their offensive line was crippled up. I mean, they've been, for the last 6 years, they've been like we were. Go to the championship game every year, go to a bunch of Super Bowls. I mean, I think it's a tremendous accomplishment.
Can you draw any similarities between this run and our run?
Just having, I mean, I'm not there, but I know it's you've got to have, mentally tough people who know how, to play over that long NFL season and can know how to show up and be there when it counts.
The one thing that I always say when people ask me this same question is it's been really impressive to see how they've reinvented their team the last 3 times.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like they've had to adjust, and they, people don't realize how hard it is to sustain success with the salary cap, with when you have to pay certain guys and you don't have enough money for other guys, and having the humility and being humble enough to change their team from being a high-flying team like they were in this year to a run defensive kind of team these last couple years. I mean, that's something that we always had to adjust to. We always adjusted our team to what we could put on the field.
Yep.
So that's some of the stuff. What makes Andy Reid such a good coach?
He's got a great system. He believes in it. Obviously knows how to teach it. I mean, he's been doing now, because remember, for him, before the Kansas City, there was Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they went to, they had the string there. They went to, several NFC championship games. And look, when you're in the Final Four and you lose a couple, people say, they're not that good. I mean, forget it. To get just to get to the championship game, you got to be really good. There may be somebody who's just a little bit better and beats you, but that really shouldn't take away anything from what you do. Although in the end, there's 32 teams in the NFL. There's only one that gets to stand out there, with that final trophy. So just because maybe, hey, you didn't quite get there, you still could be really good. You just not quite good enough to win the championship.
How are Andy Reid and Bill different? And how are they alike?
Never, because it's, I've never worked with Andy, and Bill I've known for 50 years. So that's a little bit of a hard one for me to.
I've heard that he practices hard. I heard that they practice really hard.
That's my impression. This is a team, when they come out for pregame warm-up, and nobody's screwing around. I mean, they're getting after playing football.
Yeah.
And you remember, particularly your younger days, I think we practiced hard.
We practiced, yeah.
I mean, we were in pads in camp.
Two-a-days, run in the morning, pass in the evening.
I mean, that's classic NFL.
Ugh.
I mean, that's why guys would have your offensive linemen. They'd have on their their 7-stud grass cleats for the morning. They'd have on their turf shoes for the afternoon for pass protection.
Yeah.
It's the old thing about the different games. Are you familiar with this?
A little bit.
Okay. Croquet is a gentleman's game played by gentlemen. Soccer is a beastly game played by gentlemen. Rugby is a gentleman's game, and all that. Football is a beastly game played by beasts. Okay, I mean, it's it's a nasty game, and if you want to learn how to play it, it's hard, it's tough.
It's tough. You better be willing to bleed, eat some dirt, take a tablespoon of cement. At least back in the day. I don't know about now. I'm joking.
But it's and that's what you say. And I don't really know any good teams that were soft.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's this. Some teams maybe have tried, and there's just some of the teams, the players come say, "Whoa, it wasn't like this the last team I was at." Well, great. How many championships did you win?
Yeah. Now, did you scout Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech?
We did not really, because this was at the stage we said there is zero possibility of us taking a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but he was,
but no. I wish, I wish I could say I'd studied it more than I did, but
Have you seen his evolution from the early part of his career? What have you noticed? How has he evolved? If you've watched it.
Yeah. He started off really good and he's gotten better.
Sums it up.
And being a good quarterback in the NFL, it's a high wire act. There's no net. So, you got to be aggressive with the ball, but you just got, you got to know at some point there's that fine line between being reckless, being aggressive and being reckless.
Now, I always remember when we would be playing against these teams, the game plan when you're playing against a Patrick Mahomes team. I just remember as an offensive guy, plaster. We got to plaster. What's the game plan?
So the biggest
what does plaster mean?
Plaster means when the quarterback starts scrambling, you find a guy. If there's a guy open, go get on him.
Mm-hmm.
What made this team so dangerous was you got Mahomes and you got Tyreek Hill, who's the speed factor really changes things. So we got to be over the top on him. The other guys are good, but we have to we have to take this guy away deep. And that's what I say. You always start off what at the heart of it. What do we really need to do on defense here?
So what did we do to do that?
So we had Devin. We had safety over the top of him all day, which worked out. But they got that leaves other people one-on-one. I mean, we get it later in the game. They start hitting us with the backs on the wheels. They hit the big play to Hill when Mahomes scrambled. And now you always premise your defense. We'll get a pass rush. We'll keep the quarterback contained. The ball's going to have to come out in about 3 seconds. When the quarterback gets loose, and now he's got up that 5-6 second range, things start to break down. Bad stuff happens. Again, this is you get your plan, you practice it, and you do the best you can.
Now, how come Travis Kelce always seems wide open?
Because he's, you get, number one, he's got other great players around him, so they can't just double up on him. He knows how to work, when the quarterback's moving around, he can adjust with it, and he's got great tools for a receiver.
Yeah. And for this specific Kansas City team, the number one thing was we have to contain Hill. We can't let him have a big play.
Stay over the top of him.
Stay over the top. Put Jay Jones, our fastest guy, on him. Put our other guys.
Right. So if he goes over to Watkins, you got Steph, and there's a couple plays there in the second quarter. I mean, it's back-to-back plays. I mean, Steph just wires him at the line of scrimmage. So yeah, you got single coverage, but it's against Steph Gilmore, and your guy can't get off the line of scrimmage. And then stuff happens during the game. They hit one big play on him because he kind of takes a sneak. What you can't do. I mean, you're an old defensive back. You play in the AFC Championship game. When it's man-to-man coverage, what's the most important thing?
Keep your leverage.
Keep your leverage and keep your focus on the receiver.
On your receiver. Do not have your eyes in the background.
You stick your eyes back at the quarterback, it's over. And even as great a player as Steph is, got caught one time. He stuck a peek back. And, it's going the wrong direction. So, I mean, this is, like I say, it's a messy game. Stuff happens. You just keep going. Do the best you can. And you try to make more plays for your team than their guys are making for their team.